Keith, let's see what you think about this. Since you brought up Leonard Ellerby earlier, he, on Twitter, of all places, said Gervonta Tank Davis could be in a, I quote, big pay-per-view 147-pound fight. If you had to be the matchmaker, who would you put Tank in the fight with at 147 in October?
Sure.
At welterweight, too. And he said, quote, big pay-per-view fight. I'll help you while your mind works. You know a Floridian by the name of Andre Berto. Magically, he's appeared on the WBA rankings. After 4 years in activity, he's number 10 on the WBA right now today. Do you think Tank, who's about 5'6", right, can he beat a 5'8"? I mean, you know Berto. Is he really 5'8" or is BoxRec lying?
Oh, yeah, Berto's small. Berto, 5'8". I mean, shoot. Do they even got me at 5'8"? Yeah, Berto's a little under that. You know, he's just probably got Tank by a little bit, and I got Berto by a little bit. So, I wouldn't be able to put the height on him, but I would say, less than 5'8" is Berto's true height. At the end of the day, big pay-per-view at 147? That's interesting. I want to say Danny.
I was hoping you throw your own name in there.
Well, I think I have yet to hear if that's the exciting news for me this weekend that I'm waiting upon. That would be a curveball from left field. But at the end of the day, once something is proposed to me, I just got to sit down and look at it. I know that I'd be the bigger guy. I don't know how much. I've yet to really hear that kind of admiration out of Tank. I did hear some rumors that he wanted to be 147. I think last time you mentioned something along the lines of, I was a different homeboy of mine when I was working the presser out in California. He was telling me some rumors about Tank and some rumors about him and Thurman. So if those rumors I heard a month ago are starting to develop into real ideas for October, then so be it. But at the end of the day, I've yet to hear. My ears are still open, and we'll have to see, But everything that Tank's been doing, he's been very exciting. He's trying to up his popularity. I heard his pay-per-view numbers did so ultimately, and I know that they want to make him a bigger pay-per-view star. So if he thinks, getting through a good welterweight is going to do it, then let's see.
Well, welterweight division is known to be the most lucrative division outside of the heavyweights, and he is obviously the highest paid 130-pounder out here. Today is your first day thinking about that. I thought maybe you would say he's too small. So you think he can be legit because of what he did to
Pacquiao is too small. Everybody's too small when they're coming up from the lighter weights. We're going to call them small. You know what I mean? Because they're smaller than. You got greater than, lesser than, big man moving down, a little man moving up. So when you come, the more you go up and up, if I'm double 2 weight classes, 3 weight classes above you, I'm always looking down like you're the little guy. But at the end of the day, little guy with a big pop, I got beat by Pacquiao. Maybe the little package is a problem. Maybe it's not fun being in with these little packages, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, and maybe that's what he thinks. It's like, shoot, Pacquiao was able to do it, Floyd was able to do it, other lightweights were able to do it, and maybe that's Gervonta Davis's next move.
Would you be willing to do it in Atlanta? He's been selling out. I was there. That Barrios fight was insane. It's like little Vegas out there. They're trying to really be Vegas in Atlanta right now. Do you think Keith Thurman Tank has to be in Vegas?
I think Vegas would be better, but that's because of my fight history and understanding big fights in Vegas. I do understand that he's getting a big following out in Atlanta, but I think if the fight's really big, the boys out in Atlanta, they're gonna fly out to Vegas. You know what I mean? When you make a big fight, it entices people to travel to where the location is, regardless. If we make it in Atlanta, it's just gonna be easier to pack the house. We're regardless of who's flying in from New York, who's traveling in from New Jersey, who's coming up from Florida, you know what I'm saying? And then who's coming from the West Coast to the East Coast to get a piece of that live action, you know? So like I said, at the end of the day, I think packing the house is not going to be a problem.
Will Eller be giving you that praise of the Pac-Man fight and you being the only welterweight or the only PBC fighter out of this generation's crop to do a successful 600,000 pay-per-views? Tank just did 215. Do you think that combination, you guys can get above that 600? You and him?
I think with the right promo, right, the whole promotional process, you know, maybe doing it really big in Atlanta could generate that, you know, but advertising a lot on the East Coast, because I'm from the East Coast. He's got that following on the East Coast. So I think we can grab some good numbers. So let's say I did 600 from the Pac fight. Let's say 300,000 of my followers, which is, you know, when I fought Jose Cito Lopez, we had over 3 million views. But at the end of the day, we had, you could take 10% and just say that if I got 3 million people watching me for free, that about 10% minimum will buy, right? You just do simple numbers. So that means that I carry 300,000 by myself, right? So I think we could get close to that number, you know? And I think with the right promoting, and us both being young and Tank, you know, stepping up, you know, we might be able to create enough excitement to exceed those numbers. I got a bigger following now, post Pacquiao fight. I haven't been able to perform and show it, but I know I got a bigger following because every time I go live on the IG, I'm getting love from Australia. I'm getting love from the Philippines. I'm getting love from all over the world, man. So I know that my following is out there, regardless of how much, you know, I really keep on all my social medias and things of that. People know when Keith Thurman fights, it's a great fight and it's worth tuning into, even if you got to come out of pocket.
Now, once upon a time, you called out Broner after your Jesus Soto Carras fight. Why do you think this would be different?
I never called out Broner.
After the Carras fight, I was there, Keith.
I never called out Broner. Why would I call out Broner when he just got beat that night by Marcos Maidana?
Co-main event, champ. I got you on video. Believe me. I was in the back. You just had beat Carras. You sent it into my camera, and then he lost after. Remember, you was co-main. I was there, San Antonio.
Did I say it before the loss?
You said it before. Yeah, because you were co-main.
But so you interviewed me before the loss.
Of course.
So all I was doing was belt hunting. All I was doing was belt hunting.
Well, I mean, it wasn't to bring up Broner as a fight. I'm bringing him up as the fact that you didn't get it. So do you think they'll give you?
No, I was going after the WBA. This is what I'm trying to explain to you, right? Mm-hmm. When I called out Paulie Malignaggi, I was going after the WBA. Then he lost to Broner. Thurman's still on the WBA. Then he lost to Maidana. Thurman still wants the WBA. Then he loses to Floyd. Thurman still wants the WBA. Then Floyd got elevated, and then they gave me the WBA. So I was always hunting. I was belt hunting at that time, right? Now I don't got a belt again, and I would love to belt hunt, but, you know, also putting on a great pay-per-view would also be just as rewarding for me as another world title match.
Do you look at the Tank fight as the fight that can entice Errol? Because if you generate the right numbers, Errol has to look at the economics in a fight with you and him. Obviously, the winner of you and Tank, I think it'll generate. I mean, you've done the best, and he's created his own lane without a doubt. Is that enough for Earl to be like, all right, Keith, I'll give you a shot. You did X amount of pay-per-views. Y'all put on a successful event.
Let's see him get past the bunny rabbit and the baba bops. Okay, you got to get past the baba bops, and you know. And I was thinking, you know, because we've talked about it, other people talk about it. You know, why is Errol so mad, right? Why is he so mad? Why he guzzling down haterade, straight chugging it, right? And I'm like, look, bro, like. Beef is beef, you know what I mean? I'm not vegan. We all get the beef, all right? But I'm trying to really understand what I did to this boy. And then I realized I ain't do nothing. Because I know I ain't do nothing. You want to know the problem? You the problem, Ness. What? You the problem, Ness. You and everybody else. And I'm going to explain.
Okay,
I'm going to explain. It's the interviews. No matter what this boy has done in his career, he can't get past, what do you think about Thurman? No matter what. And he can beat Pacquiao. And you know the next conversation he's going to have to hear?
What do you think about
Are you going to
that?
fight Thurman? I think he really hates that he was the 12 Olympics, that I had a little bit of a gap before him to make a name. And that gap, he's been beating who I beat, stopping people, you know, knocking out Bundu to make a statement, you know what I mean? And no matter what statement he makes, the next question is, so what do you think about Thurman? You know? And I feel that. And I feel that. And I feel like that can make you juggle down some motherfucking haterade. Okay? So look, man, I got my family. I have the desire to showcase my skills and talent once again. Like I said, I'm not an O. I got an O. I'm not afraid to let it go. If you can beat me, beat me. I've been beaten one time. Who's gonna beat me 2 times? I'm one time beat. Who's gonna beat me 2 times? I'm not done. You know, I got plenty to give this welterweight division, you know? So let's just see, man. I don't think I need to do anything special to really entice EJ. I think it's just a matter of time. And eventually he's going to run out of options to make a legitimate, enticing pay-per-view match, right? His first pay-per-view against Mikey, whack sparring session people paid for. Whack. You know what I'm saying? Him versus Porter, that fight was good because Porter made it good. That's what Porter does. Porter makes a fight a fight. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna really, you know, and he won the fight, you know. But I'm still don't see EJ himself as a dominant, you know, pay-per-view force. You know, with the way that he boxes and his style. He's very picky. He takes his time. He fights his fight. Fuck the fans. And I get it, EJ. Fuck the fans. Win the fight. Do what you and coach got to do to stay champ. I get that. I understand that Floyd philosophy. I'm walking out of this ring the winner today. That's very important. But, you know, I know, like I said, he's going to run out of options when it comes to making one of a very exciting, enticing pay-per-view fight. He has Pacquiao now. It's perfect. It's big. Post-Pac, what you got? You're running out of options, son. What you got?
Well, he's saying after Pacquiao, I want Crawford, and then I'm moving up to 54. So it's either they can negotiate Crawford or he's going to 54 according to
So
him.
be it. If he puts all his life force and energy to never see me in the ring, so be it. You know what I mean? It was never my intention. I always intended to fight him in 2020. I thought it was an Olympic year. I was going to beat Pacquiao. I was going to be the undefeated welterweight. This fight right now that's about to happen is supposed to be my fight. Thurman wins, this fight never manifests. Just doesn't even manifest, right? So only because of me does he get to dodge me. So if he really fully dodges me and throughout our whole career at the end of it, I'm going to know it happened because of me falling short of victory in the summer of 19. And not really because of any other logic.
So, but I don't want to leave and not bring up this Ugas Thurman rumor. Especially got a little hotter after your press conference, well, Errol's press conference, but you were there. Then all of a sudden the rumors picked up of you and Ugas. What's up with that? What do you think about that? If it were to manifest?
It's a good fight, you know. Ugas is a respectable champion. He got a great fight style. The Cuban, you know, he knows what he's doing. He put a great performance on Sean Porter. He was a little hesitant. He was walking Porter down. He wasn't letting his hands go, and I think he let the judges take that from him. A lot of people felt like that, but you gotta be in the position to let the judges take it. It wasn't something where, you know, he fully deserved to have his hand raised and they just didn't raise it. I think he left a little bit of the food on the table and he didn't gobble up that meal. He didn't go and get that check. He didn't take the belt from the champion, say, look, you the champ, but today, not anymore. Boom, my title, you know. I think he's learned from that. And I just think it is a legitimate great fight in the welterweight division for me to fight Ugas. I haven't heard a date. I've heard rumors, weird rumors on what's going on with Ugas. Is it Ugas Thurman? Time will tell.
Do you know the son of Costa Tszyu, Tim Tszyu? Have you watched him?
No, Costa Tszyu.
No, you never. He's a fighter.
You're talking about the puncher, right?
Costa Tszyu, the puncher. He's got a son named Tim Tszyu. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. So he's like right there. He's number one for Brian Castano. You watched that fight with Jamel?
Oh, I didn't. I missed it, man.
What?
I saw the promo like a week before,
Damn, Keith,
and then I missed that.
Keith.
And then I missed that. And I know I'm gonna go back and watch it because everyone's saying that that's one of the best fights this year so far. That it was a tremendous fight. He got a draw. They got the draw, which is crazy because they was about to unify all 4 world titles, man. So like, man, and you know, and he fought an Argentinian, and I know about them Argentinians, you know, from back in my day when I fought Diego Chavez when he was undefeated and he was a real up and coming threat. I signed up. I said I'll take the threat, and I handled them. But you know, them boys when Argentinian fighters make it to the top, there's no joke. Marcos Maidana, all of them. Throughout history, when they make it to the top, there's a reason. Otherwise, they'll be playing soccer or something. Boxing's not their go-to sport, but when they go to it, they commit, and they're just as tough as any of them other Latinos.
Obviously, with Danny mentioning 154, does that, you've been there with Quintana very early in your career, but does that, I don't know, entice you? Do you look, I mean, you didn't see the fight with Jamel.
I heard the comment that Danny wanted me at 154. You know, I heard that was one of his initial statements. He would like a rematch against me at 154. You know, and like I said, if he's gonna move up, you know, he probably should just move up and fight a welterweight in a blown up class, and then maybe integrate the mix of real light middleweights. But you know, I'm just waiting for the finalization of yes, you have a fight. Yes, it's this guy. Yes, it's this date, and yes, it's going to be a tremendous performance. You know.
Last fantasy fight, obviously, again, because of the numbers. You know, we know this is a business. You did well on pay-per-view. Jamel got this draw. He's got a IBF mandatory, but if they offered you that fight, is that something you would be interested in? Jemele Charlo for those belts. On pay-per-view, obviously, them trying to use you as the name to put him on pay-per-view. He did do a pay-per-view with his brother.
It would be hard. It'd be hard to say no to all the belts. It'd be hard to say no to making history and becoming a champion once again in a new weight class. I'm here for the love of the sport. I love the credentials I have. I want to further my credentials, and that fight entices me as far as lining up to further my credentials. You know, and then worst case scenario, right? I fall short. Thurman's probably hop right back in the welterweight division. You know what I mean? But I've always had small admirations to move up, but I just always felt that it would be a little bit more in that 34, 35 age bracket, maybe even at the last chapter in the 36 and beyond. So it's never been at the forefront of my mind yet. It's always been like a maybe later kind of issue. But you know, too many belts, too much for the history books. I might have to sign up.
Al calls you this week, like you said, and he says, "Look, Thurman, you've been great. You've always done my inaugurals. I'm giving you Tank, Jamal James, or Jemele Charlo." What does Thurman say? You get the choice out of either three.
It'd be easy to take. I would have to think about it, but you know, Tank seems exciting. It's right at welterweight. I get to do me. He gets to try to make history for him. Moving up, I get to try to make a new history. But if I win, then I got to defend at 54. You know what I mean? And then I can be like, oh yeah, EJ, you want to move up, right? Did you want to move up? I moved up first, you know? So look, I mean.
And that's a stablemate. Jamel's a stablemate.
There's a lot, you know, in the fantasy world, I'll just have to say it would have to be a toss-up between those two great pay-per-view fights, you know, over a simple welterweight fight that I don't think would bring the same level of excitement. And the complexities of the matchups, right? You got the complexity of a little man coming into the welterweight division, then me moving up. I just kind of like the dynamics of the complexities of those matchups. So I would really have to ponder, really sit down, go over everything, look at which one would get more attention, and then go from there.
Okay, the super looper last one, I swear, because I need to hear your thoughts on this Canelo Plant. It's allegedly dead in the water, according to ESPN. Plant was getting a reported $10 million highest, but also Canelo was being paid his highest purse ever, $40+ million, one fight deal with PBC. The details come out. I mean, he made Plant wait for the wedding, made him wait for golf tournaments, and then we find out he didn't want a rematch. Then all of a sudden, Plant can't get a rematch. Then he says, no, I want a rematch, but you can't have a rematch. Plant
a
still agrees.
rematch policy if Canelo was to lose, not I want a rematch regardless. You know what I mean? So, you know, and champions do that a lot of times throughout their professional careers. So, you know, long story short.
The last thing though, Keith, was, hey, if Plant gets injured, I still want my $40 million plus versus whoever you can get on the same day, short notice.
Which is a little cray-cray.
Okay.
But, you know, that's business, you know, and when you are the king of Mexico, you can do some negotiations like that. You know, Canelo had a tremendous career post-Floyd. He had a great career pre-Floyd, you know what I mean? And his fan base has only gotten better. We've seen his talent only further develop. You know, I do think that there are really challenging fights for Canelo out there, like Caleb Plant and Charlo and Andrade, and I think there's plenty of competition for him no matter where he wants to go, up, down, left, right. But to spend this much time, and you know, and PBC, I've been with them forever. I think they're just one of the best to work with, negotiate with. When it's all said and done, it's all said and done. So for him to walk away from it, I just, you know, don't know who, what, where. Someone put something in his pocket and say, I got other plans for you. Take this and just walk away. You know why? I don't get it. He's a true, legitimate champion. It's a little baffling, but I'm not in his shoes. None of us are, and it's unfortunate. It was one of the greatest matchups of the year. So I think it's very unfortunate, and I hope to see something of that caliber out of Canelo next. If not, if they can't get back into negotiations, if not, it needs to be on that level. Otherwise, I think a lot of fight fans are going to be a little disappointed. But like I said, it is what it is, man. We don't control these fighters. We don't control the decisions that they make, and we just have to sit back, and as spectators, you just got to watch and see.
How do you handle that mentally, though? Like for Plant,
it's frustrating. It's got to be super, super, super frustrating. Might make you want to buy a ticket to Mexico and just show up at the gym or something. Show up. Who's Briggs, right? Who's Briggs,
Shannon
right?
Briggs.
Shannon Briggs. Hey, you might need to do that Shannon Briggs move, dog. Let's go, champ. Let's go. Let's go. I'm gonna tear you up like a taco. Get the tacos, Plant. I'm gonna tear you up. You know, like I'm just saying, man. You might have to Shannon Briggs. You know what I mean? You might have to meet him on the paddle boat. Hey, let's go, champ. Let's go. You might have to beat him out on the yacht. You know what I mean? Get the boat. Canelo, yeah, you partying, baby. Let's go. I mean, you might end up getting roughed up in Mexico, but I think it's worth the risk, man. I mean, $10 million ain't nothing I'd want to walk away from. And I know Caleb Plant's heart as a fighter. He wants to fight the best in the world. He believes in his skills and talent, and he wants to showcase that. So it's definitely got to be frustrating for him. But I hope that I hope things remanifest or something else comes for the young man, because he definitely deserves a great fight.
All right, Keith. Thank you, man.
Mm-hmm. Yo, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, from title, betting shows, the list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.